Afternoon, sir. Thank you for honoring our invitation from GSC Group. So, Oluwabukumi Adeyanju. So, sir, please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. My name is Safi Kamaluddin Kolawolu. I'm a poultry specialist. I'm also a lecturer in the Department of Animal Production, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Illinois. So I'm also currently the trainer of broiler production C for our GSC students here on our tech center. So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. So, sir, I have some questions to ask you concerning broiler production. So, sir, you can look into the paper with you. So, yes, sir, can you briefly introduce your skill, the tech research, and
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm the trainer for broiler production C. Um, Broiler production is a very lucrative business because when you look at the facet of life, it is food first. Before you start talking of shelter, before you start talking of clothing, food first. I don't think there's anybody that will not eat in a day.
yes?
And then part of what constitutes the food you are supposed to eat is protein. And one of those things that can give you that sustainable source of protein within a very short period of time is broiler production. Now, when you want to now look at it from that angle, you see that this is a business or an investment that there is already market for. So this kind of skill in terms of encouraging broiler production will ensure that there is ready animal protein source for the populace. And invariably, what does that mean? That means that there is money in the pocket of whoever is into that business. And this also helps us to address the concerns of food safety. Because food security. Globally now, we know that yes, we have issues of food security. And one of those things that can assist us in addressing that is broiler.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So, yeah, number two, what are the basic requirements needed to start this particular skill, that's broiler production?
Oh, that's wonderful. Broiler production, I'll say it this way because I like to look at things from the financial point of view. Because when you put value to something, then you get to appreciate it better.
Yeah.
Now, the best way I can bring it to you is you can start small, you can go medium, and you can go large scale. Now, it depends on how much you are willing to invest. And just like I said, this is a business that will give you very quick returns on investment. Within 5 to 6 weeks, you can get in your returns. Which other business, well, apart from MMM anyway, which I would not recommend anybody going into, but a legit business that you can boast your shares and say, yes, you can do that, can give you that quick returns.
It's broiler production.
So it depends on the scale you want to go at. If it is a small scale you want to go at, you can consider a lot of things. But basically, what you need is you need a space where you can raise the beds. You need a source where you can get the beds from. That's a very reputable hatchery.
Okay.
Then you also need feed. Then you need medications, vaccines. Then you also need the technical know-how. The technical know-how comes in play, or let me say experience, comes in play because you came to understand that there are certain things that happen in the lifestyle of an animal that you don't really need to run helter-skelter.
Okay, sir. So, question three, what are the basic requirements that is needed to start this skill, which is broiler production?
Okay. Requirements. For me, I'll start with knowledge.
Okay.
The first thing you need to do, because before you start broiler production, is the knowledge. I'll share a personal experience of a friend when he told me he wanted to go into broiler production and poultry production. He had the capital, but I told him, just start small. By the time he started small, he noticed the challenges there. So he knew what to expect. Then it was easier for him to start on a large scale. So the first thing in now known with opinion is not just that because you have the capital, you go into it's just like every other business.
Yeah.
It's better for you to first get the knowledge.
No matter how small.
No matter how small you want to get. So you can get the knowledge either by learning from somebody or you are using your own funds to learn. I think that's the first. The knowledge is what is important. Then from learning the knowledge, you will know the technical know-how of what are those things that you need. For example, you need a place where you raise the birds. You need a source, a reputable source where you raise the birds. You need a very reputable source where you source of feed. And because you have the knowledge, you know the type of feed to feed when, the quality, the quantity, and how you are going to feed. You also know how to administer medications, when to administer vaccines, how to administer vaccines, and so on and so forth. So just like I said, the technical know-how is one. Your place, the space where you want to have the birds placed is second. The third is your reputable source of the birds. Then your source of food. What else? I think that's just about it for you, for a beginner. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, sir. So, what are the material, tools, or software for a beginner that they need to start? So, what are the material that they need to start? I think you've made mention of that already.
Yes. Well, in addition, I think for the materials, you need to get drinkers, feeders. I think everything is boxed up into the technical know-how. So once you have the technical know-how, you know that at least just like us humans, when you want to eat, you need food, you need spoon, so you basically know that the birds you want to raise, you need to feed them. So you have to place the feed cycle, call it feeders, or feeding trough. So you want to give them water, you have drinkers. So in some cases where probably the environment you are raising the birds, the heat is too much, you have to provide a very good ventilation of fans. In fact, when you have enough money and you want to do very large scale, and when I mean large scale, there are farms that are having turnover of broilers as much as 1 million per production cycle. So when God has blessed you up to that extent, you know you don't want to take any risk. So you must ensure that these birds are very comfortable. So you have to give them the best. I used to tell some of my students that these birds are assets to me. So you don't just see them as you are raising birds. They are assets in the sense that you are valuing them, that this one cost me so and so amount. So I must give them that VVIP treatment so that at the end of the day, they give me the kind of returns that I desire.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So this material, are they expensive or affordable for students? Like, are they on the average for students? Can students afford them?
Oh, they are very, very affordable. Very, very affordable. You can get feeders, drinkers at very affordable rates. In fact, the money you will spend on your subscription for TikTok and all the likes, I can tell you, it's enough. It's enough for you to buy some of this equipment that you need, at least to start. At a very, very small scale.
So we're looking at like 5,000 naira, 10,000.
It's not even up to that.
It's not. Wow, that's very nice.
The feeders and drinkers, at least let's say you want to just have about 20 beds, one feeder, one drinker, won't cost you up to that amount.
So, sir,
I'm talking just what you have at home. You just want to have something small.
Thanks, sir. Of course, can it be learned online, or is it better you just do it physically? It's just like basically you can do it online and you can do it physically.
I would say both. Because God has blessed us, especially this generation. anything you need, you can find online. In fact, the internet is like a global library. YouTube, for example, is where you can get knowledge free of charge. I think someone once called it the free university. So you can learn online. But personally, I will also add that it's better to have hands-on experience on the job, because broiler production, depending on season, depending on it's a business.
Yes.
So, and every business has its ups and downs. So, and those that are the gatekeepers of that business, they understand when to do what. It's only when you are experienced on that business that you will know, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Let me give an example. We are currently in the dry season, so the temperature is extremely hot. So those that are into production of broilers understand what to do, how to feed the animals when the temperature is extremely hot. So anybody who is a beginner now will just say, they said we should just be feeding anyhow. So let us just be feeding anyhow. So they understand that no, this period, these animals need this to be done to them at this time. That's why I said that apart from what you learn online, you also need that experience. When you get the experience, you learn, you adjust, you improve, and you get better. You learn, you adjust, you improve, and you get better. So once you merge the two together, you become a pro in the business.
Actually, I think I'll go into broiler production.
You have to come and pay us.
Don't worry.
You join our association, it's not free.
So, sir, what are the common challenges a beginner face?
Common challenges. Yes. I think number one is a lack of technical know-how.
Okay.
Because oftentimes, because you are dealing with live animals, so a lot of people are scared. In fact, sometimes when we have to raise chicken on the farm, the first thing my student will tell me that, sir, hope they will not die. Hope they will not die. So, and I know it's because of the lack of experience or technical know-how that they have at that time. Currently now, I know many of them that have passed through me, they've experienced it, they know what to do, and it has made them better. So I think number one is that lack of technical know-how is one of the major challenge that you face. Then the second thing is it's a business that needs time. Just like every other business, I've always maintained with people, you don't do a business that you don't have time for. You don't invest in a business that you don't have time for. Broiler production is that kind of business that you must create time for. Or if you know you don't have that time for it, make sure that the person that is handling it for you is someone who is not just responsible, but a trustworthy person. You understand? That knows what he's doing. So that's another challenge. No, all fingers are not it. Just look at the challenge I was facing this morning, handling the birds and like. So it's because I have passion for it anyway. So for some that don't have that kind of passion for it, once they see, they'll just give up. So it's not that kind of business where you have to give up. Then you have to look at it from it's a business that just like I said, the returns is very high. Truthfully, the risk is also quite high, because you are dealing with things that it has to do with life. You know, man proposes, God disposes. Ours is to ensure that you do everything right. And in my own experience, I will be very truthful with you. It's not a kind of business where if you don't have that appetite for risk. I remember somebody calling me, a retired man, telling me that he wants to raise poultry. And I told him, I said, sir, are you hypertensive? And the question he now told me, what do you mean by am I hypertensive because of chicken? I said, sir, if you know that you're hypertensive, then this business is not for you. Even though you can get quick returns on it, it also comes with a lot of risk because you are dealing with life. You can have mortality. So if you don't have that stomach to be able to bounce off that kind of shock, it's not something. And I'm not saying this to discourage anybody. In business, they do what they call risk assessment. Your own is to understand the risk that comes with the business and know what to do to prevent those things that come. So, and that's why I also said earlier that about the technical know-how. Anybody that knows the technical know-how of this business knows that this risk is associated with it, and they plan for that risk. You understand? So, one of the challenges, just like I said, is that risk that comes with it, because we are dealing with life. But it is not the kind of risk that cannot be surmounted. There are what's it called, strategies to combat those risks. So I want to address that. So it doesn't this man has said risk, we are not going to do well. No, it's not as bad as that. Just like every other business, it has its risk. But once you identify the risk, you plan towards it and prevent it.
Thank you very much. Okay, So for someone like me that is always scared of like chicken and everything, so like in what way do you feel like how can you help us to overcome those challenges that we might face?
There's this saying that practice makes perfect. If you have fear for something, you face your fears. You continue doing it. If you try, you fail. From that failure, you learn certain lessons. I will give an example. The first experience I had with poultry, then I worked with layers. I was an undergraduate like you at that time. So we raised 1,000 day chicks and pullets. So on day 5, soldier ants came and killed all our birds on day 5. You understand? So, and I remember then my supervisor, Professor Shugule, from Federal University of Agriculture, when he came to the site, he was like, well, we have learned our lessons. There's nothing we can do. We have to start all over again. You understand?
Yes.
And we did it. This time around, when we did it again, we are now extra careful. In fact, we didn't take any risk. Anytime we see that the weather is changing, we ensure that we spray all the places we know that soldier ants will come into and do everything. So it's like, we've learned from it.
Yes.
You understand? So, and so many other experiences like that we've gathered over the years. So I will say that for anybody that wants to go, you just have to keep practicing. If you do it today, in fact, there's also one. When we went for our conference, one of my juniors, she had certain challenges in her own. She has a broiler farm. I think she has about 5,000 capacity.
Wow.
So part of the issues that she had was managing the staff. And all I did was just to link her with some of my friends that are in the industry that are controlling about 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 capacity. Learn from them. What is it that they do different? And many of them will tell you that they've learned over the years. You understand? They failed, they've learned. They've made corrections. They failed, they've learned, they've made. So just like every business too, you are a broiler production gives you that opportunity as someone who is coming in new. If you do it, you fail. What are those things that you've done wrong? You learn from it, then you improve upon it in the next production cycle.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for that. So, okay, sir. So our next question is, how can students build a strong portfolio in this broiler production business?
One word: partnership. I am that kind of person that believes in what's it called? Yoruba will say agbajowo abin soya. Now, just like what we are doing with tech, we have so many students together that are raising brains. You understand? Now, each time the students come, I see the joy and enthusiasm in them. Don't touch my chicken. Don't let them touch my chicken. You understand?
Yes.
Now, the zeal and happiness is there is because there's partnership. So for students too, I believe that if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 friends come together and say, okay, we want to raise, now Christmas is beautiful. Let us plan to raise chicken. You have, for example, 50,000 naira. You have 50,000 naira. You have 50,000 naira. And we do our calculation. How many chicken can this 50,000? Let's say 5. That's 450,000 naira. How many chicken can this 150,000 naira produce for us? And we raise those birds. Now, you should realize that because we are 5, those birds will be able to get proper care. Unlike when one person is doing it. Then the money that you have, which is 50,000, if you only want to raise that bird by yourself, you won't be able to maximize your profit. But because you are 5, you understand, it's easy for all 5 of you to come together and maximize the portfolio. You understand? And even the work, that's the license labor that you are going to do, you understand, will be shared.
Yeah,
So, so that way, all of you are what? Maximizing effort, maximizing profit, maximizing input. So for me, if I will encourage students to go into broiler production, I will say they do it in partnership. You understand? That is the best way you can be able to maximize their profit from that kind of venture.
So, sir, in your experience so far so good, what separates an average learner from an exceptional one?
Experience. I think that does put experience. Or let me add, apart from experience, what are your values? You understand? To many, some people will tell me that you like money. You understand? Not because, well, I don't think there's anybody that does not like money, but you don't like money to the extent that you go and do illegal things.
Yes.
Now, for somebody who has his value as, okay, I want to ensure that this thing, let me make money from it. You understand? You will learn from it. I tell my student that everything you are doing here on this farm, don't see it as stress. See it as training. Just like the same way I tell my tech students, see this thing that you are doing as training. So that by the time you are now, what's it called? By the time you are now on your own, all those things that you have learned will be the foundation of what you will build on. So for students that have had the course to go through different experiences, you understand, you can't expect them to be like somebody who's first. So I think your values and your experience goes for a person making you stand out.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. So, at what stage can a student start earning money in this skill?
Well, production cycle of broiler, it depends on where your market is. For those that the big guns in the industry, I'm talking of the big farms, I don't want to mention names. Many of them, because their target is about 2 kilograms for the birds, so they fatten them, they might get their live weight around 35 days. But I personally have done it. Where I achieved 2 kg in just 37 days. You understand? And I think 37 days is just 5 weeks and 2 days. You understand? So if your target is that you want to ensure that you flood the market with maybe your frozen foods, you know that is your target market.
Yes.
So within 5 weeks, you can get that achieved. Now, if your target is, okay, like we are saying Christmas now, you want them to go as far as you are achieving maybe 4 kg so that people will buy it at the price just because of the kind of environment, then we can be talking, but maximally, students can start making money from this venture between 5 and 8 weeks. I don't even advise, and that 8 weeks is because it's just to the extreme. I don't advise that when you are dealing with broiler production, you go above 8 weeks. But it's just because of the mentality of our and make sure that as big as they are, you are getting commensurate value for the effort that you are putting. But most likely, everyone will get returns on investment between the 50 and the 8 weeks. That's extreme, and that 8 weeks is on the extreme. So that's between 50 and 8.
Thank you very much. So, sir, please, can you give us an example of a successful student who is currently making money with this skill?
I've not got permission from them to mention their name, so I will not want to mention their name. But just like the example of the lady that I told you,
yes,
currently runs a broiler farm. I think she's based in Djibouti.
wow.
5,000 capacity. So I have some other people 11,000 capacity. in Odeda local government. I have someone who is even an alumnus now of this university. He has his own broiler farm in Oshogo. I also don't want to mention his name so that I know he might watch this. So I've not gotten permission to mention their names. But the list goes on and on and on. So it's a business that people after graduation are going into it and are even using that money to employ people, employers of labor. For every business about scale.
Yeah.
So the larger the scale, the more profit you make. You understand?
Yes. Thank you very much. So, what are the startup costs involved in monetizing this skill?
Hey, this is your question I asked you. That one you will come and we will discuss that one later. Because that one is consultancy. So it's not something that we will release outside. So that one is consultancy. We talk about that one in camera.
Thank you very much, sir. So, sir, please, what tools or resources are absolutely essential for earning money with this skill?
I think we mentioned something like that. The internet is coming. And this is one thing I appreciate with Gen Z. I think Gen Z in quotes, laziness has made you smart. Because you don't work hard, you work smart. It's like before when you raise your chicken, you have to go outside, come and buy chicken, come and buy. Now with the internet, all you need is to do just stamp the picture, give the details of the birds, and you can do business on that. So I think one of the things you need is the internet. So you can't run away from anybody saying he wants to live outside the internet now.
The person can't really go far.
Then the next thing you need is you need good connection, networking. You understand? You have to know the right people. You understand? And what I mean by the right people, I'm not saying like a guy talk, but right people in the sense that maybe you want to invest. Some people have money and they just want to put their money somewhere. You understand? So if you know the right person and they know you are trustworthy, they can give you the money, you invest. I have done it on several occasions where I just tell some people, I have this business I want to do, I want to raise so amount, and they give me the money and we share the profit accordingly. So I think the next thing you also need is the good networking and connection that you need with people. And just like you said earlier, the skill is important. You can't run away from the skill. Because it is from the technical know-how that you know the equipment that you need, you know the time to raise, you know when not to raise, you know what to do when what happens. So I think basically those three is the major tools if you can use and put that you need.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that. So how profitable is this skill in Nigerian environment or global market?
Very profitable.
In Lagos is extremely profitable.
No, everywhere. Okay. You know Lagos is like our own America.
Yes.
You understand? So in fact, I was surprised that some things are even cheaper in Lagos than where they brought them from. Because in those areas they are scarce. But in Lagos, everybody has flooded the market because of the population.
It's extremely costly in Lagos.
Well, just let's say relatively. But I can tell you for free that broiler production is that business that is it has two benefits. Number one, you're able to maximize profit and you get your returns quickly. Just imagine that as a student, you have just about 500 broilers that you are raising. You get, and within 6 weeks, you have invested. You sell, you get your profit. You do the same, you sell. Within a year, you will be surprised how you'll be smiling to the bank. I hope you get it. So I can beat my chest that broiler production in Nigeria, in Kwara State, in globally, very profitable. And I know those that will be watching us, you know that this person is very profitable.
What are the top industries or sector where this skill is highly demanded?
That's the agri sector, the food industry. You know what we are doing is food.
Yes, it's food.
You understand? Then even the feed industry, because apart from the meat, the animals have a lot of byproducts. You understand? That are also useful. They have the hair. You know what you need is the meat.
Yes.
So the hair now, from the feathers rather, from the animal, can also be used in other industries. So that too can also help. The intestine too. The ones that we slaughter recently on the farm. Some people use it to feed their swine. Some people use it to feed their fish and all that. So we will say the agri sector and food sector really depend on us.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for that. So how can students market themselves effectively after learning this skill?
Marketing themselves, well, it depends. Do you want to work for somebody, or do you want to be a business owner? You understand? If you want to work for somebody in this industry, anybody that wants to give you his farm to manage, we ask you one question: where have you worked before?
Yeah.
What are the challenges that you have faced? You understand? So, and that will give you leverage. Once the person interviews you and knows that this boy knows his own news, he knows what he's saying. What vaccine do you give at this time? He knows it. What medication do you give at this time? He knows it. What signs of this disease? He knows it. You know the person will employ you.
Yes.
Now, as a business owner too, if you know you want to invest, you maybe don't have the capital. And I always tell many of my students whenever I explain this thing to them, that even if you don't have, you think you don't know, you don't need it now. You might graduate and your parents might look at it that, this boy, let us just set him up. My roommate in the university is currently running his feed mill. Currently, he has not sent I beg to apply before in his life. It was when he finished that he just looked at it that, okay, let me just start something, and he was able to get the phone. So my point is, if you want to be a business owner, people will also be interested in, okay, do you really know what you want to do? So, and once people have confidence in you that you know what you want to do, you are trustworthy, they will invest in you. And once they invest in you, what happens? You make money. So overall, I think it depends on the scope of the angle you want to look at it from. If you are a business owner, it's a plus for you. If you want to work for somebody, it's still a plus for you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. So, what mistake do students often make when trying to monetize the skill?
What I've realized most of the time is they don't do their homework well. The production of broilers, just like I said, that with experience, you know when to raise the birds. For example, most of the people just look at it like, when it's Christmas, when it's Easter, I want to raise chicken. That is not the only time. There are loads of people that are making their money daily on this business, even through the value chain. There are some that they are retailers. They buy from broiler farmers, and they process and they add value to it, and they go ahead and sell. So what I feel with students is that many of them don't do due diligence and see this as a business and not an hobby. Because when you see it as a business, you look at it, okay, I spend this cost on food, I spend this cost. When you do the sum total, you know the cost to sell. You understand? But because they just like, well, I just want money, somebody just calls me and just look. So for every period, just like economics, they say issue of demand and supply. You understand? It also affects us. Once there is supply is above demand. You understand? What happens? More supply than demand. I think the cost will come down. So more demand than supply, I think the cost will go up. So there are periods when there is more demand. There are periods where there is more supply. So the person knows how to position himself. You understand? I think that is where many of the students are lacking behind. Once you understand the economics of the business, you are able to know your cost and know when to produce, who your target customers are, and you are look at I don't want to mention, but many industries, I don't think there is an industry that does not consume chicken. You understand? There is shawarma chicken. I eat shawarma chicken very well. I love it. You understand? These are markets I can penetrate, even in the off season of Christmas and all that. So once you have to do due diligence and understand that market and know when to produce and the normal cost of how the economics of the business goes on, I think the students will do fine. In my own view, will do fine.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. So, what advice do you give students who want to scale from this small job or to major projects?
Advice. Don't take risk that you know you don't have backup. Our business, just like I said, comes with a lot of risk. In fact, many banks, when you go and meet them for loans, won't want to give you loans because they understand that, hey, at the end of every time, you understand me now. So I would advise that if you know you don't have, as a student, you don't have too much appetite for risk or too much backup for risk, just work within your limits. You understand? If you know that, okay, I have 500,000 naira, okay, I can still borrow 500,000 naira and add to it so that I will do the production and I will be able to do. So, you know, he already has 1 foot in.
Yes.
But you have 500,000 and you went to go and borrow 10 million. You understand? And you know you are still a beginner. You've not learned through the rank and file.
Yeah,
you understand?
It's not advisable.
The big guns will tell you, many of them, they collect loan, do this, and they remove their profit and they return the loan because they understand it and they have big appetite. In fact, there is no big man in the business of broiler production that will tell you that he has not gone through loss at one point in time in his career. And also, there is no big gun in the industry that will not tell you that he also has not made huge profit at one point in time. You understand? So, for my advice to our students is to ensure that whatever risk you want to take, make sure it's the one that you have the stomach for or the backup for. Not that when something happens now, the student is in the hospital, or we let us do GoFundMe for. You understand? So
Yes,
I think the best advice is to ensure that don't be too greedy, because you look at it that yes, I want to make huge profit. So just work within what you know you have capacity for. And as you are growing within the business, your appetite expands. You will have more experience. You understand how things go, and you are able to stomach this. So don't just go in all in and say, yes, my mom, I'm done with tech now. They taught us how to raise chicken or tech. Mommy, give me 10 million naira. In fact, this is my junior that I told you is currently having 5,000. You understand? When she started with 1,000, I think she had issues about 3 times. That the sponsor was like, oh, I'm tired, I'm not doing it again. But some of us encourage that, and no, you can't stop. You are using this to learn. And to the glory of God, she's doing fast. She has even added layers. So may God help us all.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for your time. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, sir.